Did the Eagles just put on the greatest Super Bowl performance ever? Welcome to Game on Brain, for takes you won't find from the mainstream media. Visit GameOnBrain.com for your favorite news, games, freebies, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. What we witnessed on the hallowed gridiron, under the brightest lights and in front of millions of eyes, was nothing short of a footballing masterpiece. A performance so profound, so utterly dominant, that it demands to be etched into the annals of sporting history with the boldest of strokes. The Philadelphia Eagles, a team of grit, determination, and unrelenting excellence, did not merely win Super Bowl 59. They transcended it. They redefined it. They delivered a performance so complete, so overwhelming, that it leaves us all asking, was this the greatest Super Bowl performance of all time? Now, let us not mince words here. The Super Bowl is the grandest stage in all of sports. It is where legends are born, where dynasties are forged, and where the very essence of competition is laid bare for the world to see. We have seen greatness before. Oh, how we have seen it. Joe Montana, cool as the other side of the pillow, threading needles with surgical precision. Tom Brady, the ageless wonder, orchestrating comebacks that defy logic and reason. The Steel Curtain, the 85 Bears, the Legion of Boom. Defenses so ferocious they struck fear into the hearts of their opponents. But this was different. This was not just greatness. This was dominance. This was artistry. This was a team so in tune with itself, so relentless in its pursuit of perfection, that it left no doubt, no room for debate. The Philadelphia Eagles did not just defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. They dismantled them. They humbled them. They delivered a performance so comprehensive, so flawless, that it may very well stand as a gold standard for all Super Bowls to come. A game over before it began. The build-up to this clash was nothing short of epic. Two titans of the sport, two teams brimming with talent, two coaching minds revered as master tacticians. The Chiefs, led by the inimitable Patrick Mahomes, a quarterback whose very name evokes images of impossible throws and Houdini-like escapes. The Eagles, a team built on balance, on power, on a relentless will to impose their game plan on anyone who dares stand in their way. And yet, from the very first whistle, it was clear that this was not going to be a contest. It was not going to be a battle. It was going to be a coronation. The Eagles' opening drive was a statement, a declaration of intent so bold, so audacious, that it set the tone for the entire evening. 4th and 2 at midfield. Just minutes into the game, and already Philadelphia was playing with the confidence of a team that knew it could not be stopped. Jalen Hurts, the man at the helm, stood tall in the pocket, his eyes scanning the field with the calm of a seasoned veteran. And then, with a flick of his wrist, he unleashed a missile downfield. A.J. Brown, a man possessed, soared through the air, outmuscling Trent McDuffie and hauling in the catch. A penalty flag was thrown, but it mattered not. The Eagles had sent their message. We are here to dominate. And dominate they did. Offensive brilliance on display. To call the Eagles' offense flawless would be to undersell it. They were a symphony of precision, a machine operating at peak efficiency. Every play was a masterpiece. Every snap a testament to the hours of preparation, the countless hours of film study, the unyielding commitment to excellence. The Chiefs, a team lauded for their defensive prowess under the brilliant mind of Steve Spagnuolo, were left grasping at straws. Spagnuolo's strategy, so effective all season, was to crowd the box, to eliminate cutback lanes, to contain Saquon Barkley and force Hurts to beat them through the air. But the Eagles were ready. They were prepared. They were relentless. If Kansas City wanted to overload the interior, Philadelphia would stretch them out. They would force the Chiefs' defensive backs into one-on-one matchups against the likes of A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. And time again, the Eagles' playmakers delivered. Jalen Hurts, the man who has faced his fair share of doubters, was nothing short of magnificent. His pocket presence was impeccable. His decision-making was flawless. His ability to read the defense, to anticipate their rotations, to exploit their weaknesses. It was the stuff of legend. He was not just a quarterback. He was a maestro, conducting an orchestra of destruction with the poise and precision of a man who knew he could not be stopped. And then the dagger, late in the third quarter. with the game already slipping away from Kansas City. Hurts dropped back, scanned the field, and unleashed a rocket downfield. Devonta Smith, the fleet-footed phenom, streaked past the defense, hauled in the pass, and waltzed into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Game over. Defensive mastery. A clinic in domination. But let us not be mistaken, my friends. This was not just an offensive showcase. Oh no. The Philadelphia defense delivered performance so suffocating, so utterly dominant, that it left the Chiefs' high-powered offense gasping for air. Patrick Mahomes, the man who has made a career out of defying logic, was rendered mortal. The Eagles' pass rush, a relentless wave of destruction, came crashing down on him from every angle. Milton Williams, a man possessed, burst through the line, stripped the ball from Mahomes' grasp, and handed possession back to the offense. It was a play that encapsulated the entire evening. A defense so in sync, so relentless, that it left no room for Mahomes' magic. The Chiefs' offense, a unit that has tormented defenses for years, was simply not allowed to operate. Every time Mahomes dropped back, he faced pressure. Every time he tried to escape, a defender was there, waiting ready. The Eagles' defensive backfield, a unit that faced its fair share of criticism throughout the season, played like a group of men on a mission. The Chiefs' receivers were blanketed, their routes disrupted, their rhythm thrown into disarray. This was not just good defense. This was a clinic. This was a masterclass. This was a performance so dominant that it left no doubt as to who the better team was. Historical context. Where does this rank? To truly appreciate the magnitude of this performance, we must place it in its proper historical context. The Super Bowl has given us countless moments of brilliance, but few teams have dominated in the manner the Eagles did on this night. Consider the 1985 Chicago Bears, a team that annihilated the New England Patriots 46-10 in Super Bowl 20. Their defense, led by the indomitable Mike Singletary, was a force of nature, but even they did not display the same level of offensive firepower that the Eagles showcased. Or consider the 1999 St. Louis Rams, known as the greatest show on turf. Their offense, orchestrated by Kurt Warner, was a thing of beauty, but their defense, while solid, did not dominate in the same suffocating fashion as the Eagles. What makes this Eagles performance so unique is its completeness. They were not just great on one side of the ball, they were great on both. They were not just prepared, they were perfect. They were not just dominant, they were historic. The coaching masterclass. Let us not forget the men on the sidelines, the architects of this masterpiece. Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, has faced his fair share of criticism throughout his career. But on this night, he was nothing short of brilliant. His game plan was a work of art, a perfect blend of aggression and restraint, of creativity and execution. Every decision Sirianni made seemed to pay off. From the aggressive fourth down calls to the perfectly timed play action passes, he was always one step ahead of his counterpart, Andy Reid. And let's not forget Reid, a man who has forgotten more about football than most of us will ever know. On this night, even he was outmatched. The legacy of this performance. And so, we return to the question that looms over this momentous occasion. Did the Philadelphia Eagles just deliver the single greatest performance in Super Bowl history? Consider the facts. The offensive precision, the defensive suffocation, the complete and utter control of every facet of the game. This was not a game, it was an obliteration, a wire-to-wire dismantling of an opponent that had, by all measures, earned its place on this stage. Yes, we have seen greatness before. We have seen unforgettable comebacks, legendary performances, moments etched into the annals of football history. But dominance like this, a performance so complete that it left no room for debate, that is a rare thing indeed. And so, let the debate rage on. Let history dissect and analyze. Let the pundits argue and the critics scrutinize. But for those who watched, who bore witness to this masterful display, there is little doubt. The Philadelphia Eagles did not just win the Super Bowl. They owned it. They controlled it. They redefined what it means to deliver a perfect performance on the game's biggest stage. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this moment, for it may be a long time before we ever see anything quite like it again. The players, heroes of the night. No discussion of this performance would be complete without paying homage to the players who made it possible. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback who silenced his critics with a performance of the ages. A.J. Brown and Devon Smith, the dynamic duo who tormented the Chiefs' secondary. Saquon Barkley, the running back who balanced the attack with his explosive runs. And then there was the defense. Milton Williams, the unsung hero who set the tone with his early strip sack. The defensive line, a unit that harassed Mahomes from start to finish. The secondary, a group that played with a chip on its shoulder and delivered when it mattered most. These were the men who made history. These were the men who delivered a performance that will be talked about for generations. The aftermath. What comes next? As the confetti fell and the Lombardi Trophy was hoisted, one could not help but wonder, what comes next? For the Eagles, this victory cements their place among the NFL's elite. For the Chiefs, it is a reminder that even the greatest dynasties must face adversity. But for the rest of us, it is a moment to savor, a moment to appreciate the beauty of the game, the brilliance of its players, and the sheer joy of witnessing something truly special. Breaking down key plays. Let's take a moment to dissect some of the key plays that define this historic performance. 1. The opening drive *, the Eagles' first possession, set the tone for the entire game. Facing a 4th and 2 at midfield, they opted to go for it, a decision that spoke volumes about their confidence. Hurts' completion to A.J. Brown was a thing of beauty, a perfect blend of precision and power. 2. The strip sack * Milton Williams strip sack of Patrick Mahomes in the second quarter was a turning point. Not only did it halt a promising Chiefs drive, but it also handed possession back to the Eagles, who capitalized with a touchdown. 3. The dagger * Hurts touchdown pass to Devon Smith in the third quarter was a nail in the coffin, a perfectly thrown ball, a perfectly executed route, and a perfectly timed play. It was the moment that sealed the game. Quotes and reactions. In the aftermath of the game, players and coaches were quick to praise the Eagles' performance. Jalen Hurts *, we came here with one goal, to dominate, and that's exactly what we did. Nick Sirianni *, this was a team effort. Every player, every coach, everyone in this organization played a part in this victory. Patrick Mahomes *, hats off to the Eagles. They were the better team tonight. The road ahead. For the Eagles, the challenge now is to build on this success. Can they repeat as champions? Can they establish a dynasty of their own? Only time will tell. For the Chiefs, the road ahead is one of reflection and redemption. They are too talented, too well coached to let this defeat define them. But for now, let us celebrate the Philadelphia Eagles. Let us celebrate a performance so dominant, so complete, that it may very well stand as the greatest in Super Bowl history.